What's up, and welcome to the Hip Hop Galaxy. It's your boy Wusha Banks, and I'm joined by
Silas Beats.
Lee.
Okay, cool, guys. Let's start, man. Let's get straight into it. What episode is it? Episode 6?
I think so. 6, 7?
6.
No, it's 6, bro.
6.
Yeah.
6. My bad. My
What
bad.
episodes are you watching, bro? So, episode 6, bro. I don't know if you guys have seen the Kanye West documentary.
Nah, I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched it?
Yeah, I'm just waiting
I'm supposed to watch it soon.
Yeah.
How can people that are connected to the music industry have not seen the biggest documentary to drop?
Nah, bro, because it's a 3-part series.
Yeah,
so I'm just
yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for the other 2 parts to come out. Because I'm going to watch the first one, I'm like, shit. Now I have to wait for next week. And then the following week.
Whack-ass research.
No, bro.
Silas, what's your whack-ass research?
How long is each episode?
I think the first one was like an hour 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it flies
Dude,
by.
that's
that's
reasonable. But then you don't get the whole thing. You're
Yeah.
getting it in bits and pieces.
No. So basically, what the documentary basically is, it's this guy. His name's Cootie, right? So he was basically a host of a music channel, right? He interviewed Kanye West. This was in Chicago, and he was like, "No, man, there's something dope about this kid. He's gonna go far." So he approaches him. He's like, "Yo, Kanye, I'm gonna follow you around. Just document your career." So basically, he's documented Kanye from the beginning.
Jeez.
From when Kanye was starting out as a producer,
Yeah.
up until like right now.
Damn.
Shoo.
All that.
Why do we not
footage.
know about this guy?
Yeah, I've never heard of Cooley.
Coodie.
What?
Coodie.
Coodie. How do you spell that?
Coodie.
Yeah, nah, he's never also mentioned him, like in his songs and stuff.
He hasn't. But have you always noticed how Kanye has always had footage? Like even when he was in the car crash, he had footage of him. Through the wire, the swollen things. He always had that footage. I think we never questioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in every sort of
yeah.
situation, he's always like, "Yo, Coodie's, check my man out here. He's recording me for a documentary that we're doing." So I think his whole thing, even in the documentary, they said, "Yo, Kanye, when are you gonna stop filming for this documentary?" And Kanye's like, "Yo, it'll never stop, man." So I think the idea is for him to record him until the last days, until the end, bro.
Jeez.
And that's poetic.
That's hectic.
It's crazy. And what's crazy is like they signed like some crazy ass deal for that footage, man. So I don't know, it's a lesson for music artists, man. Document your process. Like Gary Vee says, man.
Yeah, but I think you need someone who believes in you. Like,
Yeah,
you
that
need
too.
a Cooley who's
Yeah.
gonna be like, yo, I'm
Yeah.
gonna document it. But that's crazy for him to like believe in Kanye like from way.
Yeah, dog. It
Because
is.
surely you get tired.
Yeah, man, like,
So it's like, look,
guys
man,
don't-
things are going well, but man,
Especially with Kanye.
I'm done. Also, he's a character. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got a short fuse, but I'm just like, yo, man, to deal with him again today.
But what's crazy is you always think, let me speak for myself. I always thought people were saying, "Yo, I miss the old Kanye" or whatever like that. But Kanye's always been this way, like
Always been
arrogant.
what?
Like, I wouldn't say arrogant, but a high level of self-belief.
Self-confidence, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's what's this? Because I mean Kanye, like back in the day, I think it's the music, like the sound that he was making, what he was saying on the songs, and
Yeah.
how he always changes the sound. Like he's always trying to move on to the next thing. Whereas people are stuck on, I just want to hear like Jesus Walks, you know that sound. And then
Yeah.
he did.
That was nice music.
Yeah.
But even that was innovative for its time.
Yeah.
Like people,
Yeah.
when they heard that, I remember Scarface, he heard that, he was like, "Bro, I can't do anything on this." I remember Scarface was big at the time.
I remember hearing what's this? Yeezus. Is it Yeezus?
Yeah.
I hated Yeezus, bro. Like when it
Really?
came, I didn't like Yeezus, bro. Like I think I heard the thing. I was like, it's loud, makes no sense, and then like for like years, I was like, it's fine, bro. And then when I got to Varsity, I was like, oh shit, actually, he's got something here. You know, I started liking a song. I'm like, let me go back to listen to the whole project, and then I was like, oh shit, actually. So it just goes to say, because they always say he's futuristic. So I think when people say, I miss the old Kanye, it's like the sound and how he was, and then now he did that whole gospel sound, like, you know, the album, talking God, and people are like, I talk me, I just want Kanye's gonna cuss on a song.
Yeah.
And now he's back.
They want the comfortable Kanye.
Yeah.
The one that they can expect. I mean, when I heard, I've been doing this for a long time, where I hear it, I hear the hype around it.
Yeah.
Then I'll go and get the album. Now I'll just go on Spotify, listen to a couple of tracks, and I'm just like, nah,
It's not the one.
it's not.
You don't like him?
Nah, I don't know what it was. Maybe even back in the day, the same thing happened where I'd listen and then eventually I'd be like, okay, I can do that. But now I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to for a long time.
Wow.
But that's the thing. I mean, it's preference. We can't all love the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
true.
saying? So
I feel like,
No. You can...
No, I was gonna say, like, with what is the other, the blue album, the gospel album? Flipped. Jesus is King.
Yeah. Yo, you saved us there.
Yeah.
The hip hop podcast, we don't even know album. That's
You don't know Kanye's album, bro. You ain't got the answers. But I heard the album and I was like, I mean, I liked some songs on the album, but I was like, it's like, yeah, sharp, whatever. Let me move on. But with Donda, when I listen to Donda, I feel like Donda.
No, it's stretchy.
Yeah, I feel like Donda is what Jesus is King was supposed to be. So I think there's a project that I would like, and then I'm like, you've lost me here.
But guys,
And then it'll come back up.
every album can't be a classic though. We can't expect that from artists. I know it's Kanye, but every album can't be a classic. I think there's some albums that we have to say, it's not classic, but it's good, bro. It's okay. And that should be fine, bro.
Did you like Jesus is King or like that Kanye?
For me, music is different. I don't like people that do the same thing. So I like
Okay.
people that innovate. So maybe if you even talk about Bovamania, like I didn't like most of the songs. Jesus is King as well. I didn't like most of the songs, but I like that he took like a creative leap and he tried to do something different. Because I hate listening to the same thing.
Do you like who he was when, like, during that phase?
So maybe let's talk about a little bit about the documentary, right?
Yeah.
Before I answer that, like
Uh-huh.
for me, what stuck out was the fact that I spoke to you off camera about this. Like, All Falls Down, right? He played it for multiple people,
Yeah.
and people didn't get it. They were just like,
Not the one.
you know,
Right.
Grammy nominated dude now. And I was just saying to you, it shows you like people don't mess with something unless it's like marketed well or like
Yeah.
other people are on it. So I also think maybe it kind of puts you in Kanye's shoes because I don't think Kanye's rollout, bro, is second to none, dog.
Okay.
And I think maybe that's because of what's happened in the past. He's realized that you need to bring eyeballs to what you're doing for people to care, to actually listen to the music. Because if you could make the best thing, people aren't going to fuck with it just because it's like, why should I listen to this? So, I mean, I take it with a grain of salt, all the shit that Kanye does, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like you had to go like to be on character for.
Yeah, he has to do that crazy stuff. But I love how he's changed his sound on every album. There's a
Something different.
sound change. And
No,
stuff
I actually want to watch it. Do we have like a South African artist who has like a documentary?
Yo, I don't know. Well, that speaks to their marketing as well, but we don't know.
yeah,
about
if
it.
they do, then
Because I know Nasty had the
That Japanese thing.
that
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, Japan? Like, what?
Japan.
I'm not watching this.
Zuluman goes to Japan. Zuluman in Japan or something.
Yeah, no hate, but I was
Yeah.
very confused at that documentary. I was
I
like,
didn't see, like, I don't
You didn't
know.
watch it?
I didn't know. Sorry.
Nah, you should check it out.
Yeah.
And I feel like South African artists will have an idea.
Yeah.
Like, for example, with that documentary, I was like, shit, the idea is dope.
Yeah.
So Netflix and stuff. For like artists to document everything that they're going through and their journey and like, you know, them going overseas, because we see them here and the tours, but whenever they're overseas, you see a clip that I was in Japan, but you never actually see the interactions and like the connections they make. So I think it was a dope idea. Maybe execution could have been better, but
I think we wanted to see more Nasty coming up, dog. Like, I didn't want to see him in Japan. I think it was just,
nah.
it was a bit weird.
I mean, he's coming up.
Yeah.
That side.
But I think what I wanted to talk about was like, what do you feel about like rollout in South Africa in terms of like what they do? If you compare that to Kanye and like, you know, how artists can learn from that, because it's like sometimes your music is not good enough. Because I hear people send me dope music and I'm like, I don't know why you're not signed. I don't know why you're not popping.
Yeah.
You get dope music?
Silas, what do you get? I'm sure Silas, Brent,
man is
honestly,
hurt.
I'm sure you've heard a song and been like, yo, this is gold. This should be
Yeah.
super big.
Yeah.
And it never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
So, kind of like, what should guys do? Like, just looking at the Kanye model, and is there anything that guys should learn?
I think a lot of the reason why it never pops off is because of the rollout, like you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't really, when you say, can we compare ourselves to, say, someone like a Kanye? Not really. I'm sure the
Yeah.
budget speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But just, I think the mindset.
Budget.
Yeah?
Budget.
Yeah. We don't have the budget that he has.
Saying that slavery is a choice needs a budget. Saying I'm running for
Oh,
president
you're talking
needs a
about,
budget.
okay. You're talking about those
Yeah, I'm
things.
talking-
Those very, very well-placed marketing,
Yes.
that type of thing. Maybe. I do believe we do have one or two people who do that.
Name names.
Hold on, wait. I'm making a point here,
Okay,
guys.
yeah.
You guys are throwing me off. Guys are throwing me off. So these guys, when they come in, they make their song. The song is amazing. I'm like, man, this song needs to go far. But I feel like at that point, it just falls apart. They don't have cohesive teams. Their teams are forever falling apart. I see it all the time. There's this one person that I've worked with. They've had 3 different managers. They're a good artist. They're just unmanageable. And I don't know why. People come in, they throw money at this person. I see things and they believe it as well. They'll come in and sit, like, man, we've got all these plans. I'm going to be in this country, We've already got that whole thing. So the whole rollout is already there. It's laid out. And then at some point, there's an issue. Something happens, there's a disagreement, they fall apart.
Give us like an example. Like,
So, in this situation, okay, let me not use that example.
Men securing the bag.
No. It's a case.
my political connects.
Let me give an example of a creative direction.
Okay.
Creative direction will be one. It's where they'll have this whole thing laid out and they're like, I want to do it this way. And there'll be certain lines in the track that'll be of a different language, right? Then the other person will be like, no, don't do that. Don't add that in there. It's not going to sell. Then they've got creative differences. And they're not solved. They get into a fight. And then that's the whole thing. It breaks
on.
apart. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's things like that. So it's rollout. It's being able to hold a cohesive team together. And I think it's also just a lot of short-sightedness. Just going off the documentary, I haven't watched it, but how long can I call it long-sighted? Or how long-sighted do you need to be to say that I'm going to document everything? How long-sighted, you have to be... Yeah, and I don't see anybody here coming and doing that. Also, the same sort of stories I get is 3 or 4 tracks, and I'm going to blow up, and things are going to happen for me. How short-sighted is that? So maybe it's a case, and it's not so much it's not an insult, but I think it's more of an observation to say that we have the skill, we have the talent. Of late, we have the engineering. Before, we used to complain about sound. 10 years ago, we used to say, we've got the skill, but the engineering is not dope.
Terrible, yeah.
But now we actually have all of that. Everything is on point. We have the videos now. The videos we are making are crazy. The stuff that the kids are making now is incredible.
Yeah.
So the package is ready. It's
Yeah.
ready to go. But I just think the overall vision, that's the word, the vision of it is
not
just,
there.
it's like, okay, cool. We're just going to get to that point there. And we're gonna end it there. Whereas I don't see anybody that's doing that thing where you're like, okay, cool. So this month we're gonna do that. In 6 months, this is what that's going to lead to. In a year, that's what's gonna happen. In 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. Also, we don't have anybody to look to who has the blueprint for South Africa for 20 years worth of good stuff.
I would say Casper and AKA, but I get what you're saying. It kind of feels very ad hoc, with them. It's like, okay, we think of an idea and
Something's
but I
coming
don't know.
along, and then they jump on and they're like, I'm gonna make use of that.
It's difficult to say because we're not there. So maybe they could be, but I
Maybe.
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
In terms of the artists that you deal with,
Yeah.
that's what the case is.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. A lot of short-sightedness.
I don't know. Any thoughts on your side?
Yo, with the rollouts, man, I'm trying to think of an artist that had a proper rollout.
think AK
Like
is like
in
the
a-
only one that uses like drum and stuff. I remember his last album was like, it's my last album. And
Yeah,
everybody
the-
was like, it's not your last album.
Nah, but
Relax.
man, but even that's just like a tweet, and we know it's cap because you're like, dog, you're literally up there. You're saying that this is my last album, so it's not really a rollout. Like it gets a conversation going, but like people, because now how I felt when that happened, okay, I'm like, okay, Bryce is saying is this his last album? I'm gonna hear it. But now when he's dropping another album, like this guy's cap, you know, this guy's cap, and for me it's all about that if you're gonna be capping, you might lose
Jay-Z
me.
did it though.
What?
No, but that was an actual retirement. But at the time, he believed it. He believed it.
Or maybe he made us feel
But
like.
I remember Jay-Z said, believe half of what you
That's
hear. And so maybe it
That's what
was.
you said, love everything,
You
right?
said it. You said it.
It was you. I think what the American guys do very well in terms of like rollout, they make it believable. You know, like an artist like The Weeknd, that guy was in character, bro, wearing the bandages. You know, leading up to like his album drop. Kanye West goes in character, like with the Sunday sessions and stuff before Jesus is King came out.
Yeah.
I feel like in South Africa, there's no, like, you can't believe it. Like, it's not believable. You know, like when someone does something, you're like, that one is part of the rollout.
Yeah, it's kind of like they put everything into the song, and then when it's time to release, it's like, guys, here.
Yeah.
But we'll grow from that. I do believe, like, I'm trying to be hopeful, but we will grow from this point.
Yeah.
Because they also had to grow from a point where, you know, you had to be young and rebellious, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, you can rap and be old. Hey, you can make music and be in your 40s, you know? Hey, you've got... So they're starting to see it, therefore more people are doing it.
Oh,
So here, we also starting to... Like, we in the beginning, for you to be a rapper, you had to be either in your 20s, you know, basically heading on to your 30s.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you start seeing people in their teens and people that are like super young that are doing... Then that gives people hope. They're like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And we do that a lot in this country. We're like, hey, man, if they...
It's like the kind of
no,
changing.
man. He's done it, therefore.
I can do it. I just want to comment also that just like on the rollout. So, like on a recent drop, Nasty C dropped the song Stalling
Yeah.
just before Valentine's. And basically the song is about a heartbreak.
Okay.
You know, like,
I know where you're going.
I gave you all of me, whatever. So then people are like, okay, is the song real? Like, is he really going through a heartbreak? Because all the posts that I linked to the songs about, like, not this day is not for everyone. Like, some of us aren't like lovey-dovey or like excited about the day and stuff. And then people are asking questions like, did he break up with this girl? Because I mean, he's been publicly in a relationship. He's in a public relationship. And think about it, how much of a bummer it would be to listen to that song, relate to the song, and then the guy goes on a live and is like, hey, I'm with my girl.
Here
you
we
know?
are. Hey.
So and I did see a post saying that they were somewhere together, but other people are saying now they've broken up. So I'm just like, we'll see. Only time will tell. But it's just part of, like, is that part of the rollout? And for me as an artist, knowing that person is in a public relationship, I'm like, I'm just waiting to see if this thing is real or not, because
so
it's
makes
not
it-
believable.
yeah.
Like, it's just not believable. I think a lot of artists in SA get that wrong. It's just not believable enough. You know?
Man.
Like, you can't be wearing a ring and then drop a song about a heartbreak. I but
Anyway, let's go to the wow. On that point, let's go to the next topic, man. You brought it up off camera in terms of Kanye West saying that he's not going to release Donda 2 on streaming platforms. He's going to release it on his website, on that STEM player.
What?
Yeah. So basically, he said he was basically saying that artists don't get enough from streaming websites and things like that.
Yeah.
And this is a form of protest in terms of, well, if you're not paying the artists, then nobody's going to get any money.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Is it good for the industry? Is it bad for the industry? I know I've got my thoughts.
I think for context, he's basically jumping on that, taking power away from the oppressor. Like, I think one of his posts was like it's time now to remove the power from the oppressor and stuff. We're gonna drop it. Like, we're gonna do it our own way and stuff. And like all these platforms that everybody glorifies.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't give me a shitty deal or whatever. So, look, man, my thoughts, like, it's a great initiative. You know, like having like.
Okay.
I think the idea
Okay.
behind it, like, is dope in that, you know, like, I wanna own my shit or whatever, but it can only work for an artist like Kanye. You know, what about a Slikour rapping in his back room?
Okay.
You know, like he can't create his own platform.
Yeah.
And like, what does STEM player come with? Because I haven't visited the website. I haven't clicked because there's a link saying
I
you can
think
pre-order.
the first one was you could remake the song, so it would give you the actual stems of the song, so
And
you
can
could
download separately,
it, do your own thing to it, make remixes and stuff like
Who
that.
owns it?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Who owns the
That-
after you make it stuff like that?
No. Who owns the platform?
I think he does. That stem, it's his own thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, imagine you listen to a Kanye song and you don't like the drums, because that's what he was saying. Like you can download, you can get the drums and you know, and then this vocal, you don't like the backing, so you remove. You know, like it's flippin' dope. You listen to the same song, but it's not the same song. You know, but practically, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work.
Thinking about it, actually, that is actually pretty dope.
The idea of it is always like, oh my word, like, you know. But I'm just thinking, how is it gonna work out for a Slikour in the back room?
You know, for me, like, hey, dude, I have a problem when artists start saying that Spotify is the oppressor, dog. Because what was going on before Spotify? Were people buying music? Nope. People were jacking music. Nobody was making money. I mean, the industry was on its deathbed, bro. Like, I mean, nobody was making money from music. So streaming sites have come and they've basically said, listen, for this low price, you can get all this music. And artists are getting some money. Now, when artists complain about they're not getting enough money, Spotify is not making a profit, bro. They're a profit loss making company. And that's because the margin that they make. Because remember, all of that money that they pay out, most of it goes to the record labels, and that obviously filters down to the artist.
Okay.
So what artists are essentially saying by saying to Spotify, yo, we want more money, they're basically saying, Spotify, raise your prices. And now that's difficult because you've got all these other streaming platforms who also want market share, and they're probably not going to raise their prices and stuff like that. So you get into a situation now where Spotify is going to raise its prices, they're not making any more money. Then as the listener, we're going to be like, bro, this is a lot of money for music. And then it leaves the music industry in a worse off place.
But surely surely that's not the only option, just to raise the
For what?
prices.
What other option is there? Lay off people at Spotify?
No. I'm thinking, I don't know where I heard it, but the share of plays. So,
Oh, that's
you remember that
another
thing?
chat. Yeah.
So they basically say that if I have fans and my fans are listening to me, I get more of my fans' money.
Okay.
Specifically, and it's not. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so if you
yeah,
are actually getting that play, then you are actually getting paid.
Because currently it's like a pot. It's a pot
And then
where
we all get a piece of it.
And obviously the bigger artists are gonna get a bigger share. I think there's a lot. There's that aspect, and there's also the aspect of how much are the record labels taking and actually giving to the artist, because that's a chat they should have. Because you should be making money off your streams, because this record number of streams are being made, and if you look at the record label financials, the statements and stuff like that, they're making more money from streams now than actual product sales.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money there. And I think, bro, you can choose whether you want to go on Spotify. It's not like you have to go on Spotify.
But
That's how can they be an oppressor if
for the platform itself.
yeah, how can you be an oppressor? If it was
Yeah.
like, bro, you can't get your music out unless you put your music on Spotify, then I'd be like, yo, that's an oppressor. But they're like, bro, we're not forcing you. Go sell your music.
Yeah. You
No
could.
beef.
And also, if an artist wants money, if we look at the numbers, it's night and day. If I'm selling a beat tape or I'm selling let's say I'm a rapper and I'm selling my album, I've probably got a better chance of making more money by selling a physical copy to 10 people. As opposed to trying to get it on their
Streams,
streams. I've seen people talking about TikTok, and how TikTok is amazing. I'm like, maybe for visibility it's good, but for money,
It's not.
no.
Yeah.
I think of the lot, it's probably one of the worst.
Yeah. No, like all the platforms are like that though. I think Tidal is I think it's the highest paying in
I
terms
think
of
so.
like streams, but it's also the most expensive.
Yeah.
Like this subscription fee.
They've tried to differentiate by
yeah.
saying that we have higher quality music and stuff like that. But it's like, man, because Spotify, why I listen to Spotify is that algorithm, dude. That algorithm. When you listen to like a collection of songs, they start telling you like, yo, this type of artist is what you listen to. And I like hearing that.
Yeah,
So that's
I
why
like
I'll
that as
stick with Spotify. as opposed to these other.
I actually haven't zoned in on like Spotify. Like I have Spotify, but I
What do
spend
you
a lot
use?
more
Apple
time.
Music?
Yeah, Apple Music. Like
It's the thing is, but also now he's an Apple
Default,
user.
yeah. So
We're
Yeah.
Android users, so
Yeah. But I tried Apple because now you can get it on Android,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, this is. It's not as good as Spotify because Spotify just suggests music and you're like,
that thing is really. Sometimes I'm like, man, because I'll listen to. I think it also does it after it's done with your playlist. So you get to the end of the playlist and you start hearing a different track. Now, if the music is playing music is coming from the other room, I'm not gonna go change it. I'm busy doing something here, and I'll hear a new song and I'm like, man, but this song's not on my playlist.
Yeah, I
But
don't
it's
even
dope.
know this song. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's dope. And then you're like, let me add it to my playlist. Now you've discovered a completely new artist based on that. So I really do like that.
I just really wonder like how the new platform is gonna work. You know, maybe it's gonna work for Kanye for this
no, it'll
project.
definitely
It
work
will.
for Kanye, bro. It'll definitely, and it's a good move for like producers because like he's a producer, so he knows like stems are cool.
I would love to listen. They've got so many songs where I'm just like, oh my gosh, if we could just
Yeah, remove this one. Like, not this one.
it's not necessary.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, man, and then just another topic that I wanted to discuss. I don't know if you saw this. Slikour on Live, they released a statement or. I don't know, it's a press release or something. So Slikour, they're starting a distribution platform.
Oh, Soul
nice.
Distro.
Yeah.
Like Soul Distro.
Music distribution. Now, we've already got one. JR's got one as well, man. And for me, like, I don't know. Is that something we should be celebrating? Because when I look at music distribution services, I'm like, why launch a new one? Like, how's this one going to be different than DistroKid? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here.
I have, and this is answering your last question about STEM player as well as this. It will work if you get buy-in. So for someone like Kanye saying we're trying to take the power away from the oppressor, it doesn't work if Kanye does it alone and everyone's like, well, Kanye, well done, right? It doesn't work, right? We all have to buy into it.
Yeah.
With the distribution platform, you're right, because when Facebook, I keep giving away my age, when Facebook became what it was, there were people in South Africa, I remember I was at Varsity, and they were trying to start their own social media platforms. And they're like, we've already got so-and-so, we've already got so-and-so. And I'm like, this is like 5 people.
Yeah.
You can't start even if you bring 5 really famous people, if the platform's not nice, they're not going to take to it. No one's going to want to be there. It's going to die a very, very quick death.
Yeah.
So again, with this distribution platform, there needs to be something about it, and it can't be something like we're playing only South African content.
It's money, bro.
Something
I
like
also
that
don't
is-
want to hear this is black owned. You need to support
Yeah,
black owned.
they're going for, because I mean, artists, like we know, artists struggle, right? They struggle
With what?
Like money. So like if you put a song up on like a distribution company, whatever, they're taking a portion of, and then also getting that money, because you can go like on a distribution on an aggregator, you go up and you're like, okay, I have like $10 there, but like getting it into your bank account might be an issue. I know one of the
Is that the one of the differentiators?
Yeah, so there was one, I can't remember if
How
it was
do you get paid then?
So I don't know if it was like JR's ones, or like there was one I came across a distribution company on Facebook, and basically what they're saying is that they're trying to make it as easy for the Kasi kid, I don't know, maybe it's JR, for the Kasi kid to get access to the royalties and stuff.
Is that the
Yeah.
differentiator?
So then if I have a song, I'm using this platform, and then they put it up obviously on all Apple Music, your Spotify and stuff, and then getting that money back is instant. So if you download my song, I'm getting paid. It's going straight into my bank account. And if you
as
do-
opposed to a PayPal
Yeah,
account.
PayPal.
Exactly.
Spotify makes it super tough. They do that whole thing, not Spotify, as a DistroKid,
Yeah.
where you put up your tax information.
Yeah, but they want
and
tax.
They're doing no,
I've
dude.
gone up. I'm like, I
The platform's not based here. Money's leaving their country, so that thing has to
And
exist.
they're also liable for that.
Yeah.
They need to have records.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for an Oak who struggled firstly to get studio time, who struggled to get data
that's
to put their song up on thingy, to pay for the subscription on distro, and then now they have to go find internet again to have to be putting text
Download
information, and then have a bank account, and then set up a PayPal. So I know one of the platforms are saying we're gonna make it instant. Like if someone downloads your song or they buy your song, like on iTunes, if they buy your song for 10 rand, you're getting that money straight. Like if you obviously getting 80%.
They're gonna buy your song for 10 rand.
No, I'm just making an example. So like if you're buying for 10 rand
Yeah.
and you're getting 80% of that cash, you're gonna get it your 8 rand.
So
clean.
this thing is like you have to buy music on that one.
No, this
Oh,
this
it's
is
just
an
an
example.
example.
Exactly.
Oh.
Because
Example.
even on distro, if someone is buying a song, I don't get it in my pocket. Like it goes, like if it's on iTunes,
Yeah,
it goes to
distro and they
and
pay
then
it out,
exactly.
yeah.
Whereas with one of the platforms, I think it's JR's platform, I could be mistaken. But with that platform, you buy it and it comes into thing. If I stream your songs and you
Yeah.
accumulate like 10 rand or whatever, and you're getting 80%, which is the deal, then you're getting your
'Cause they handle
8 rand.
all of
And
that stuff and
exactly.
everything.
So they're doing the ad, all that.
I guess that's one differentiator.
No, I mean it's nice. It sounds nice, but we still have to talk we still have to talk about margins. Margins are very important because now, if you're getting rands, so what if I'm getting 300 rand sent to me?
No, I think it's just more about being easier. That's
It's
it.
easier.
But
As
you're still
opposed
not
to a
going to be
distro
getting
kit.
much.
But
I don't think it's important. I
Yeah.
would still rather just use
It
another
is,
platform.
because if Slikour said, okay, if you use my distribution service, we'll give you like an interview, we'll give you stuff, then it makes sense. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
bro, this is good promotion
There's
for me.
incentive.
Yeah. I mean,
Like this is why I'll use you over. But I
Yeah.
know DistroKid, so you need to compete for my business. Like
But I think you also have to think about the majority of. We spoke about this.
Yeah.
About this last week in that there's a big artists who don't really care about like which distribution company they're
Yeah.
using and stuff, because they're getting 100% of their royalties, whatever. But then you get a guy who. Hey, this thing is hard. Like with the tax information, it's hard, bro. So if
Yeah.
I can go on the platform, I know like
get
that.
it.
That's why people used to use data file host, because it was easy, bro. You put the thing up there, you have a link, and you just distribute it. And I mean, we ain't getting paid, but it was easy. Like it's easy. Everybody can do it. So I think the majority of the up and coming artists and people that are probably gonna use the platform, they were like, I appreciate the fact that I can get my money now, But I saw the Salt distro, but I don't know how it works. But I think it would have to give, something of value like that.
because those things, it's probably like a white label solution. The thing that he's doing, he's probably bought the. Because I know there are companies where you can pay monthly, and then you just put your branding on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then you can kind of have
Yeah.
your own distribution company. I worry about those things because Spotify said like last year they were trialing direct distribution to their platform. So then what happens if you've built this whole business and Spotify says, hey man, you can give it directly to us,
Yeah.
then what?
Blow you out the water.
Do you think people will go for that though? Like,
Go for what?
like would you go to
Because
like
you get
direct?
100% of what you're getting.
No, but with distro, you're getting 100% of what you're getting anyway.
Yeah, but you have to pay. You have to pay to get on.
So if Spotify was saying it's free,
No, I think Spotify was like, no, why don't you pay us directly? Because Spotify is also unprofitable, so they're looking for ways to profit off of their music as well. I mean, off of this whole platform. Yeah.
but I feel like Brad, like if I have an option, I think like I'm all about convenience, right? And like one stop shops.
Yeah.
So if I can go to distro, send my shit to distro, and then it goes to all the platforms.
No, but you know what Spotify will do? They'll say, okay, cool, you can still send your stuff to distro, but we'll limit how much information you can see. Because they have to make it appealing. Like if you submit to us, you can see all your information. You can pay us and we can run a promotion on people that listen to the music you make. So there's a lot of things that they can do. That's why I'm like, hey, that business model of
it's
music
shaky.
distribution,
It's shaky.
it's a bit wild.
Yeah.
But these guys, they probably have like some plan. Because I mean, who wakes up and be like, you know what? Let me just create a distribution
There has
company.
to be
you know?
something. There has to
But what is it? And what
I
does it
don't-
mean for the
I
for
think
the music
for
industry?
Slick it makes sense because you've got people uploading their music on your website anyway.
Anyway.
So why not get paid for it? So it makes sense from that point of view.
Yeah, but Slikour online, that idea of like, because it came on while we're still downloading music. It is good. It was secure. Because Data File Host, with the links,
Yeah,
many links, but
good.
Slikour on Live was like, it felt secure. And I remember like back home, if your song is on Slikour on Live, bruh, we don't know how you did it, but you made it. Like,
Really?
did something.
Yeah, but it looked. That's what I'm saying. Like the majority of people that are coming up and the consumers don't understand what's happening. It's like Apple Music when people started putting the music on Apple, the songs on Apple Music. I'm like, whoa, my guy, you on Apple Music? You must be legit. I'm like, dog, I just did distro. So Slick on Live, it was like it definitely shifted the culture because it was secure,
It
no
did.
links, you download.
And also, like, there's we're obviously trying to start it on Hip Hop Galaxy, but there's, like we've discussed, there's no platforms where you can go because it used to be shizness. I think if you were on shizness, then you were the shit.
Yeah, you've
then
blown
where do
up.
you go?
Yeah.
There are other platforms though on different TV stations, aren't there?
TV stations. How do you get on a TV station?
Yeah, no, that's tough, eh? Yeah, you have to be running in a certain circle.
Do you still watch TV? Do you still watch TV?
The silence watch anything.
No, man, not like live TV. I think that I still think there's a big population that still do watch live TV. But again, are those going to be the people who you're going to be gigging in front of? Are those going to be the people who you expect? If they have access and they're watching SABC 1 religiously, is that going to be your clientele?
And it's also, why are they watching SABC 1? Are they watching SABC 1 because they have no choice?
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you give them choice, are they going to watch SABC 1?
That's why for me TV is quite shaky. It is quite shaky. That's why I think radio still has a proper grip.
Let's talk about it.
Radio has a proper grip. You know, people there was a time, and it wasn't even it wasn't recent where people were like, yeah, radio is dead. And I was like, no, guys, it can't be. Because we rely on it so heavily. Our cars, we don't have capability of, I still have an aux cable. My phone is advancing a lot faster than the technology in my car. So even there, it's you rely on radio.
Yeah.
Also, there's certain talk shows and stuff like that. We're not all listening to podcasts here yet. That podcast culture, we're kind of getting into it now. So having your Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is, podcast and listening through that is still a bit of a distance. And also, guys, we're in Joburg. That's the other thing. In other places, I don't think there is.
This guy.
Yeah, dude.
I'm always gonna agree because I'm from the EC, bro.
Bruh, radio's important,
You know what I was saying, eh? Like, if you look, okay, so we're 5-6 years behind international markets on most things. Like overseas, they say what you say, right? I think I was reading something about a record label executive in terms of marketing and stuff like that. They were saying radio is still important, but year on year, it's been losing its relevance in terms of breaking new things, new artists and stuff like that. So what they'll do is they'll pump the TikToks, they'll pump the YouTubes and whatever, and then it'll blow up there. And then they kind of see radio as a last stop where we're just extending the life of it.
Yeah, it's a vessel.
Yeah.
I've seen old songs come back. I'm like, yo, why is that song playing so regularly? It was a time, I don't know what song it was. I don't know what it was, but I heard the song. I'm like, but I know the song is very old.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing the challenges. I don't even have TikTok. They would get to me via.
rolling.
Was it not the Timberland?
No. It wasn't that. Wasn't the Timberland one. Wasn't the Touch It one either.
Yeah.
It was. Man.
Hey, bro. Also, I just want to say with
Taylor
that
Swift.
song. We hate that song, bro.
What's a...
The
That one that you're singing now.
Yo, dude. Radio fed on that song, bro.
And the worst thing is when you're working in a place, where the radio is going the whole day, and you're like, guys, come on. Also, I heard it on the way to work because I'd listen to the same thing, and then I'd hear it on the way home. So that's twice already. During the day, they'll play it maybe another 2 more times, 3 if we're lucky. Guys.
No,
But that's a lesson for artists, dog. Don't focus on the radio. Get your shit popping on these social media and then go to radio. They'll play your music and you'll irritate everybody in this room.
Yeah. I also feel like radio is important, man. I think it has a part to play, and people underestimate how many people still listen to radio stations. Yes, the internet is booming. People are breaking out, using the internet and stuff. But radio, it has a big part because the stations what's the station? The one for the song of the year. The number of votes that come in.
That KZN one, what's it again?
It's Rukozi.
Yeah, Rukozi, yeah.
The number of votes that come in are shocking. People and for you to vote, bro. Because I listen to radio, I don't vote. I'll listen. I'll hear something.
Wait, when do you listen to radio? In the car?
Yeah, in the car or in the office or whatever.
But when you're at home, do you listen to radio?
I don't listen to radio at home. I listen to it in the car or Okay. But there's people that sit down and they listen to radio, you know. But I'm saying, like, I listen to radio, and I don't vote, you know. So for having so many people vote, you know, for you to vote, bro, you need to be very committed to the station. You get on your phone and be like, I'm gonna vote for this song. You have to be committed to the station. So just seeing the numbers, you're like, shit, bro, there's still that many people that are still committed and believe in radio. So it definitely has a part to play. And I think artists overlook radio to their own detriment.
You know what intrigues me? A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, radio is not dead and stuff like that." And it's not, right? It's, especially in this country for the reasons you mentioned. But there are two things that I think is keeping radio alive, right? The first one is, I think if you give everybody an internet connection, and you give them access to whatever they want to watch, right?
Yeah.
They're not gonna want to listen to radio. There's so much content out there.
True.
I think where radio wins, right, is in the car. Because even though I have access to a podcast, I don't want to be fiddling around while I'm trying to get to the thing. I think podcasts and whatever won't kill radio. I think maybe like driverless cars will kill radio. Because then if you get into a car and you have the time anyway, you're not going to want to listen to radio. And
dude, I mean, I've got a way to work around that already.
How?
Where I'll go and I'll pre-plan my podcast.
Yeah.
Then I know that once that one's done, it will go into that one, onto that one, onto that one.
But a lot of people aren't gonna.
I mean, it's a little bit of effort, but you know, I feel like that already. That covers me for a 1 hour commute one way, 1 hour commute in the other direction. So that is it's a shaky foundation to say that it's going to be strong for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Just going back to something you were talking about now. I was trying to pull up the distribution. The distribution rates at Samro in terms of royalties. Year on year have been getting less and less and less and less, right? Paying from each radio station. Ukhozi, as you mentioned, is I think one of the highest. I'll pull it up now, but they are one of the highest, but it definitely has been becoming less and less that you earn per second on each track.
What's that caused by? Less sponsorship than the radios?
I don't know what it is, but when you have that Excel spreadsheet in front of you, it basically gives you the platform, it gives you the year, and it will tell you, it's all performance royalties, but it will tell you exactly how much you'll be getting per second. But you'll see year on year, if you focus on one radio station and you have it there, you'll see that the amount is slowly but surely. And it's the same for TV as well. It's dropping slowly but surely. And it could be because of advertising. There's so many reasons. Could be because of advertising. Maybe the SABC doesn't have as much money. They used to. There's a whole host of reasons. But I do see it getting weaker. I don't know how much. I don't know whether, in terms of weakness, it's going to meet a streaming platform level. Because streaming platform levels are bad. It's 0.00. At least it's zero. It's like 78 cents. Per second, or it'll be like R1.02 per second. So at least if your track is 4 minutes, it's a little bit of money.
Yeah, I was about to say that now. Like also in terms of like artists and like how much they can actually make, radios is like up there, like by a margin, because like
let me see if I can pull it up.
78 cents per second, bro. For Apple Music, you get 0.000 whatever per play. Yeah. So you can play my song 100 times and I won't even get 10 cents, you know. But for radio, if you get 5 spins, hey, but you're good. Like,
but how sustainable is it? Isn't it better to obviously build your own platform and then work from a position of strength?
Definitely would be. It definitely would be. It's more. You have more control over it. Yeah. Also, these culture shifts don't affect you as much.
Or in terms of the sounds that they change.
The sound, but also the platform.
The platforms, yeah.
Like if you move from CD, you've got your own platform and you have your own, that thing that Ryan Leslie said many years ago. That's why we don't hear from him anymore. He focused on getting the people. He wasn't. He was worried about the music, but he was focused on the people and giving them an experience. So it got to a place where Ryan Leslie, instead of him trying to sell 100 Rand CDs to 100 artists, he would sell it like it was a much bigger thing. So you'd say, I'm gonna have a party in a castle, and there's a limited amount of people that can come. The price point on that is really high, but then you need less people.
Yeah.
So having those people around you and having, being able to have your own platform then gives you more resilience, because that shift from CDs to streaming, or from whatever it is to streaming, he was probably able to weather the storm a lot better.
Just to move topics on that, I want to discuss NFTs. I don't know if you saw the story. DJ Swoo released music NFT. It's now gaining popularity and gaining traction. We talked about how artists can monetize their music. How do you guys feel about music NFTs and the space as a whole? I don't know if somebody wants to explain it or their understanding of it.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask you, like, can you?
Oh no!
Can someone break down like
Everyone's
NFTs?
tried.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Do you want to try?
Nah.
I know.
So my understanding of a music NFT, right, is basically it's a way. So NFT is basically a digital product, right? It's a non-fungible token, right? So the basic NFTs, the ones that are popular, right, are like a picture of something. Like I'm not sure if you've heard of CryptoPunks, right? It's digital pictures.
Yeah.
They sell it, and basically the concept is you own that NFT, right? When you purchase it, you own it.
Yeah.
You can prove that you own it, right? And it's basically a marketplace. So CryptoPunks, I think they started for like a little amount right now, but now people like Jay-Z own a CryptoPunk.
Okay.
And it's basically on the blockchain network, and it's based on Ethereum and stuff like that. There's also a side, if you create like an NFT, in all of those transactions, you get a percentage of all the sales. So let's say I take a picture of Silas, I put that on the web, I create an NFT of that, I make 10 copies available, people buy it at $1, I make my money. But then when they sell it, right, there's a marketplace, Silas becomes this huge star. Then Silas's NFT now becomes hot property. Now people start selling it for $20.
Yeah.
As the creator of that, I get a percentage of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now with music NFTs, it goes a little bit deeper because now I can give you a piece of my royalties.
Yes.
So now I can go, maybe if I'm Casper and I go out and I say, guys, I'm doing a project, a new project, right? I need R1 million to do this project. Therefore, my next album, I'm going to divide it into 10 NFTs, right? And then on launch, you can buy it for X amount so that we can get to the R1 million. Then once I get the R1 million, I'll release this project, right? And then you'll get X percentage amount of royalties.
Yeah.
You then can then decide if you want to keep that NFT or you can sell it on.
So that NFT then it gains value, and
Yeah,
then at that
it
point you
gains
can
value.
choose whether you want to keep it
Yes.
as a keepsake.
But as a creator, if somebody sells it, you still
still
make
get a
money
percentage.
off
Still
of that
making
sale. You still
money.
make your percentage off that money.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of ways that you can make money off of it. That's why a lot of people, Spotify is also looking at NFTs now as well. So I think in terms of digital products, I think it's a phase that people are going to because there's no really real utility. I think music NFTs provide a lot more utility because there's actual royalties. There's actually money that you can get. So it kind of functions like a share. So if an AKA says he's launching an NFT, I'm going to buy that NFT, bro.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think again it goes down to margins. I would rather, in terms of application for an up and coming artist, probably not right now. Possibly. The reason I say that is in terms of you spending time and trying to figure out what it is. I know it's good to. I would do it. I would go and read up about it. But in terms of action around it, your energies are better placed elsewhere, in my opinion, just because of the complaints that I get from artists in general. The complaints are things like, I don't have time. I barely get time to get to the music aspect of things. I barely get time to get into studio. I'm working my day job. I'm doing all of these things. And they get to a place now where, are they gonna be able to now have the time? Because it takes time to understand it, to then create it in that way. And if you don't have the following,
See, here's another point, right? So we spoke about Kanye's documentary. How did that guy have the foresight? Now, if you're a guy, you see Kanye has an NFT. Nobody's on this shit. You buy all of his NFTs. I think it's a way that you can fund your project. You just have to convince people.
fund your project.
Yeah,
No, bro, it will be long term.
So smooth.
No. It's remember, it's short term and long term. because you sell the NFT for a particular amount. That's the first price. So you can say,
But who's gonna buy it?
so listen. So let's say I've released 5 singles, right? I've gotten on Slikour, I've gotten on Hip Hop Galaxy, right? You can see that I'm buzzing, right? I'm gonna be popping and whatever. I say to you guys, this is my first album. Imagine being able to buy Reasonable Doubt NFT. Imagine being able to buy. Imagine if you bought the Illmatic NFT. Imagine if you bought the College Dropout NFT.
But with all of those, wasn't there already a bit of a buzz?
There was, but I'm saying to you, if you listen to
It's a
music,
foresight,
if
yeah.
you can say this guy's gonna be big,
Yeah, so
let
then
me get his
it now.
NFT, because it goes beyond music collection. Because there's some people who, because remember also there's an aspect of NFTs of flexing. It's like, yo, I own this album, I own Illmatic. It's why we buy. It's what Gary Vee says, right? Why you buy? You've got a phone that tells the time. Why are you buying a Rolex? So it's also that sort of thing. So I think it's a collector's thing. And I also think, I've heard that shit where upcoming artists are like, what's the point?
What's the
Yeah.
point?
Who's going to buy this? But there are
Yeah.
people who are looking at it and like, I can see that you're going to be big.
Yes.
I can buy this. And then once you become big, I can make money. Because it's like, you
Money
don't have
off
to
it.
be signed to the record. I can still make money off of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess maybe I'm thinking of an artist who is at the beginning of their
Yeah, of
career.
the career.
I don't
And
think-
they
Yeah,
don't
I
know
think
that,
because if there's not there's other things. Let me give you if you're a new artist and you don't have the bare basics,
Nah.
like you're rapping, your music is bad. You know, instead of spending time and energy trying to get your NFTs right, go get some vocal coach lessons. You know, that's what I'm saying. Just priorities.
Okay, I get
in
you.
that way. But if the person's bubbling, that would be incredible. If you could get it at that point, it's like getting Bitcoin at the beginning, or getting whatever it is at the beginning, because once it eventually does become
Shit,
big.
I forgot there's another aspect is that because it's based on Ethereum,
Ethereum, yeah.
that
If it goes
Ethereum's
up.
rising, so you also get that
Yeah.
benefit as
Yeah.
well.
Yo, bro.
But it's like what you're saying. Like I don't know if artists are onto it. Or,
Yeah, look, because he was also Sbu was also saying that like artists, like your AKAs, your Caspers, like people can actually crowdfund your project, you know, by buying your NFTs. But I think the first step with this whole NFT business is understanding the concept
is.
of an NFT, because
is.
bro, people are like, you know, when you listen, like someone is trying to explain you, like you can sell a picture, because someone asked like, okay, so if I put on a song and as an NFT or whatever, and like people buy it, in terms of royalties, like who does it go to? Like, do they own a part of the song, and how do they earn money and stuff?
so it's a digital contract.
Yeah.
You set out the terms of it. It's not a standard thing. You can set out the terms. You can say that you get 10% of the royalties because you've bought this one NFT. You get 1%.
Yeah, hey, bro, I think for now it's like tricky territories because
Bruh, can people just understand Samro first? The basic, can they understand what a mechanical royalty is, what a performance royalty is, before we throw in NFTs? Let's start with the basics. You know,
register. as
But
an-
guys need to. I feel like guys need to read up on this, you know, because you know why? Let's go into in the next topic I want to raise. I don't know if you saw this yesterday. Lady Dune, she sent out a tweet, basically saying that she's stuck in a bad contract with her manager.
Okay.
She can't get bookings now. This guy's taking all the money and stuff like that.
sucks.
It's crazy, dog. In 2022, dog. Lady Do. Hey. So how do you guys feel about that, bruh?
About what?
About bad contracts? Because
Hey,
a
bruh.
lot of people,
Hey,
it's
bruh.
like, it's 2022. How is this still happening?
Nah, dude, that's always gonna happen. I feel like signing a bad contract.
Yeah, a management contract. Like a basic management contract.
Bro, this is what we were talking about the last episode. We were talking about how people get into situations where all logic, because now you're thinking with logic, bro. The problem is you're thinking with logic and you're sober of thought.
Bro, actually, on that topic, you know, with that whole bad contract and stuff,
Yeah.
because I mean, you're saying it's 2022, like how are people still getting into bad contracts? There's people in 2022 that still don't have contracts. So I was watching an interview with, I was watching an interview with Howard.
Hey.
Howard and Nico. So they're basically talking about DJ Maproyes and stuff, and they were basically getting asked about the contracts that they had with DJ Maproyes, and they're like, nah, it was like verbal agreements, like a handshake and stuff. And I'm like, bro, you're working with the big artists, right? How are we just gonna handshake and that's it? Like,
Guys, it's tricky though.
It's a catch-22 because under that tweet, under what Lady 2 said,
Yeah.
somebody said, don't sign contracts. These contracts are getting us into trouble. So they're probably also functioning on that thing. Like,
No.
if I sign a contract, I might be screwed. Rather,
Bro.
I operate.
or just read the contract, or like have
That is an option.
You know,
Yeah,
like
it is
just read the like I understand, and that's my thing with like I don't know, like international artists, but like South African artists always get into contracts and they're like happy. They're happy while it's happening, you know, while I'm getting booked, while I'm getting the
Yeah,
gigs,
that's
whatever.
sad.
Like we're happy, we're good, and I'm like, dog, you know, you're not serious. You need to work harder. And now a few months later, a few years, it's like, nah, the contract was trash. I actually didn't, you know. Just read the contracts because they're getting asked, and that's my whole thing with the artists. Like, I think we spoke about it last week about like fronting, you know, having to perform. That they're getting asked, okay, bro. So tell me, do you own your masters? Nah, yeah, I own my masters. Oh, okay. And then a few years later, I don't own my masters. So just read the contract, basic stuff. And artists as big as Lady Do, I'm sure has a lawyer. Or they can get Genius.
I think we should reach out to her and tell her.
Genius and be like, yo, man, listen, just read my contract. And how much is it gonna come? I'm sure one gig can sort out a contract
It can.
fee to read the contract and have a proper agreement.
But practically, when you meet someone, I'm just thinking about the big artists that I've worked with. I've worked with a few where we didn't have contracts, we didn't discuss the stuff, and now in hindsight, I'm like, when would have been the opportune time
So it's always at the start.
to discuss? No, who are you? Who am I? Who am I? Nah, I'm not gonna. Let me go get my beats from elsewhere. So at the beginning, it's easy for us to say that, guys. No, when you get into that thing, get your contract right, because you also don't want to mess up the vibe. When people are in studio here, there's glasses of whatever it is being passed around. Someone's out there, they're smoking joints, and then people come through here. Before I turn any equipment on, I'm like, guys, we're gonna discuss. They're all gonna leave. If it's during the session and people are in a vibe and I'm like, yo, we're gonna discuss this thing, it's gonna kill the vibe. If we do it at the end of the session, they might not even be sober. Then what do we do? The next day? The next week? No, we'll sort it out. When does the contract eventually come through? Now my manager will be in touch with you.
But now it's
Huh?
Now there is a contract, it's just a bad contract.
No. In that case,
But that's a good point. So what have you done in terms of sorting out contracts after the fact or before the fact?
it's usually after the fact.
Yeah.
Before the fact I find it awkward. I find it awkward bringing it up. We get into studio.
Do you not need a
we even-
manager then to bring it up for you? Or like a commercial person?
It helps. It helps someone who's removed from the music. It does help. It definitely would help because it's an awkward conversation that I might not want to have and that other artist might not want to have either. Our managers can talk it out. So yes, that would be the one thing that they can do. But if I don't have that agreement going on with anybody and I'm handling my own thing, what I've done is afterwards I'll wait for a gap. And I'll say, okay, cool, this has happened. Also, I know that even after a release of a track, I'm able to tell the trajectory of a song. If a song is going to do well, I still can claim royalties on a song.
Yeah.
I know that.
What's the default that you can claim? 50%?
Sorry? No, not a default, just how far back you can claim. So even if a song hasn't been registered, even if a song hasn't been notified, let's call it Samro. It hasn't been notified with Samro. You still can do retrospective claims on royalties. It's not that the song needs to be registered before it goes out there. You can go back.
But then what would, because you don't have an agreement on the percentage,
I'd
what
create
would
a
that
dispute.
percentage?
I'd create a dispute.
But then what would that percentage be? You'd have to go basically your dispute would have to make the artist say, we have to negotiate it.
Yes.
Oh.
So
okay.
if we have a track together and you're like, I'm gonna take 100 for me.
Yeah.
And I see that this track is popping, I'm like, I know. I'll notify the track as well, but I'm gonna say 50-50.
Yeah.
I want to create a dispute at the
So then nobody gets paid.
Nobody gets paid
until you sort it out.
Yeah. So Samro has ways. They're very smart. They've got systems in place that they don't really talk about.
Let's go to Howard, boy. Let's tell him what to do. Let's get it.
So there should then be a way to, and you'll start to see. The thing is, it becomes tough now because you'll only start to pick up on things like disputes and stuff after the track has played, after the cue sheets have been done at the radio station, cue sheets make their way back to Samro. Eventually, people are like, yo, why am I not getting paid for this track? It's been playing for the past year. What's going on? At which point, then we have to have that conversation.
Sure.
So it's a long, drawn out process. That's what I'm saying. I check to see what's happening with the song.
What happens, because I remember Howard, I think he said that he's not even credited. What happens if you're not credited? Does that make it more complicated? Do you have to now say, listen, I've got the session files here. This proves
If you do, it helps.
Yeah.
The session files do help. So when producers are working with beats, I always tell them, they're like, how do I protect my beats? I'm like, look, Brian, in your career, you're probably going to have a couple of beats stolen from you. But one thing you definitely can do is don't send out your FL file. Don't send out the file that has you creating the MIDI and the different drops and everything.
So you can send out the stems, just
send
not
out stems,
the files.
Yeah. That it helps. It will help you. The other thing I do is I'm sure you've seen, whenever I make beats, I post them online. And there's a timestamp there. To say that, but guys, it's been up there for how long? Guys, I've had the beat, it's been chilling there. So I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just trying to create so much stuff around me that says that, yo, that is my beat. And these are all the different ways
So
that I
that
can
like a
prove it.
reasonable person
Just
could
like
come
you
to the
think,
conclusion that Silas Beats
Exactly.
produced this.
So that whole Destruction Boys thing with my logo, it was nice because my logo was everywhere. And it's not
Explain
that
to
my...
the
Yeah,
people what
I was
happened.
about to say, can you explain that to everyone?
Because now Silas is dragging us in his beef with
No, man.
Destruction
I
Boys.
can talk
man.
about it now because...
Shout out to Destruction Boys, though.
So
Securing
it's,
the back.
It really is...
What happened? You saying that Destruction Boys borrowed...
They borrowed my logo. But that's the thing. Like they I think they might have borrowed inspiration. I'm using the term borrowed very loosely.
Unknowingly.
So it could have been a case that they liked it. It could have been a case that some designer had a similar sort of idea, or they saw it and they were like, hey, we can manipulate this thing.
How did you resolve it?
We didn't.
So what happened? You still have similar logos.
Sorry?
You still have similar logos.
Yeah, the logo that you see here is the same thing. If you take it,
Yeah,
we'll do a thing.
Do a flip. Post,
bring my top over there.
Silas doesn't want to let this
I'm
go.
not gonna let it go. So
I remember when this happened the first time. You WhatsApped me like, "Yo, dog, have you
upset.
seen this?"
So the logo as it is, right? I don't know what aspect they flipped it on.
I think it is.
Honestly,
I
when
don't know if
you
they
sent
flipped
me
it.
that thing, I was like, it was a bit of a stretch. Though.
Nah, dude, it really wasn't, because the way it was chopped up was the same. But it's fine, because then when I went and I looked, they hadn't trademarked it. So I was like, whatever. But again, I don't know how I would have created a dispute, because they were just flat out ignoring me.
So you did reach out to them.
I did reach out. I tried to email.
Yeah.
I tried to DM. I tried to tag.
Yeah.
In all of them, it was just like, nothing's happening. But then I realized that it doesn't really affect me. But then I started getting annoyed. For a very short period, I was very, very annoyed. I was very angry. I got in touch with a lawyer who then put me in touch with a trademarking company. Trademarking is hella expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
How much is it to trademark? I think it's 5K or something.
Well, it depends on how many classes you want to get your trademark in.
Yeah.
So I was like, how would this work? They were like, you actually have a very strong case here, because they haven't trademarked, you have, and you're operating within the same industry.
Yeah.
You're both within the same industry.
yeah.
Also, you're within the same country.
Yeah.
Within the same industry. So this can be seen as a bit of a dispute. I showed them the two logos. They were like, yeah, no, they really are very, very similar. There is something here. If you would like, we can draft up a letter of demand. This is after I've paid them to
Yeah.
get the trademarking done. And I'm just like, damn, I don't want to go that route, because I know letter of demand leads to another letter of demand, which leads to, phone calls. And the energy I had each morning was just not healthy. It wasn't healthy. And I was like, they're probably sitting there thinking, what does this guy think he is? So I was like, let me trademark my thing so that they can't come to me and tell me things. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I handled my trademark. I didn't trademark the name. No one's gonna steal Silas Beats. It would
Yeah.
be stupid to steal. But I trademarked the logo. So it's two
Yeah.
different trademarks, eh?
I know.
Yeah. So
But are you good, man?
huh?
Good.
Yo,
Like, you sound hurt.
I'm much better.
Yeah,
I'm
you
much
sound
better.
hurt,
I'm just channeling. I'm channeling the emotions that I had at the
Hurt,
time.
but, you know, like they stole my shit.
Yeah, but now it's okay because I mean, you know, the
Yeah.
career was is very like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Howard case also, I think what could be tricky is that was he not using the studio
my
equipment?
Maurice's studio and the laptop.
So,
Hey, man.
so then if I make a beat,
Yeah.
and then because now me and him we split whatever, how am I gonna get the FLP? You know. So hey, bright. When I heard the story, I was like, yo, my guy. Because he was part of the song. Like he says he was part of the song.
Big
Particular.
songs, yeah.
Particular, bruh.
Global smash.
Particular, bruh. I was like, how? You know, so and he says he produced a majority of his PTP, the album by Something Soweto.
He made the beats for not produced.
But there's no proof of any of this, is there?
Yeah.
It sucks.
Claims to have made the beats
Yeah.
for.
It's a claim. So now that's what I'm saying. FLPs. If I was leaving, I mean, again, how do you now? How am I? Who am I? I'd have to wait for people to leave the room and quickly just.
And he was staying with DJ Maporisa, so does he have the money to even pursue this legally? Probably not. It's a bit wild, though.
Yeah.
And on that somber note, that was the Hip Hop Galaxy podcast. I think we've gone over time here.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up, man. Thanks, guys. Episode 6, it's a wrap.
Cool.
Peace.
Out.